biggest part of that book, and there's a lot of, especially when you doing some brilliant stuff in here. Hey, listen here, you guys with the traffic ticket out there. When you go in there, there's things you can say to the judge. You can ask the judge and the prosecuting attorney questions, and you can box them in. You're talking about how to box them in so they really can't wiggle much.
Well, they try. They try. They're pretty sneaky sometimes.
Yeah.
But what I typically do when I go in, I get the ticket, I don't believe in fighting. I don't believe in disagreeing. I don't believe in going in saying, you don't have jurisdiction, or you're this, and you're not following the law. What I notice is that if I agree with them and just question them based on what they've already told me, it quickly falls apart. For example, what I like to do is I like to go in with a proposed plea of guilty. And anyone in the traffic case can plead guilty. That's generally the way. Yeah, it's generally the way they want it, though.
Yeah.
But you go in with the proposed. It's not signed. It just says, I have had my rights read. They have explained the nature and cause of the charges and proceedings to me, because I'm not a lawyer. I don't understand this, but they've informed me, and I'm waiving my right to appeal. And all you have to do is sign it at that point. As long as it's unsigned,
yeah, they can't do anything with it.
They can't do anything with it. So what I like to do is I like to go in and say, like I just said, I'm not a lawyer. I don't understand what's going on, but I would like to plead guilty. I don't want to have a trial. I like to avoid this whole thing. I got a life and I got a job, but I don't understand all the ins and outs. Okay, and as long as I can be informed, I'll be more than happy to pay your fine. Now this gets them pretty confident. Well, okay, what are your questions? And I said, well, all right, well, am I entitled to a fair trial? Oh, yes,
absolutely.
Yes, Mark, you're absolutely entitled to a fair trial.
That'll puff their chest up, won't it?
Yeah, oh, we're fair in this court. We're fair. Well, that's great. And one of the things I'll ask is, am I entitled to a meaningful hearing? Oh, yes. So if I ask questions, I would expect that you'd be responsive. Oh, yes, yes. If there's something I don't understand, you'll do your best to explain it to me. Oh, yes, okay, great. So one of the questions I'll ask then would be, am I presumed innocent of this alleged crime? And this is pretty basic. So, well, yeah, of course you are. All right. And I usually keep notes when I go. No. Okay, good, I'm presumed innocent. Well, am I presumed innocent of every element of this alleged crime? Now, this is where the problem starts. Now,
I'm laughing because I know the answer.
You go ahead. Well, he's already told me. He's already told me that yes, I am presumed innocent. Now I just ask him to be specific. What am I presumed innocent of? Am I presumed innocent of every element? Now, the last time this happened in Mesa, Arizona, the judge was the only lawyer in the room who was not laughing. All the lawyers behind me thought I was crazy. And this is not just prosecutors. This is also defense lawyers and public defenders who are supposed to be there to make sure that each defendant has his rights maintained and not violated. And I'm not there with a lawyer. So they're supposed to be even more giving, if you will. They're supposed to be a little bit more helpful to you, so you don't understand what's going on. So the judge looks at me. His name is. You're presumed innocent of the charge. Move on. No, I can't do that. I don't understand.
Don't understand the charge.
Don't understand. Just need a responsive yes or no, sir. Am I presumed innocent of every element of this alleged crime? Like I said, the lawyers behind me are having a field day, making fun. I can hear the comments. One of them actually said, well, how many elements do you think there are? Well, I'll get to that. That's not my burden to know how many elements. That's the cop's job, or the prosecutor. So at this point, Robin is beet red. I mean, this judge, well, he's doing a bad job of pretending to be a judge. Oh, he was furious. At this point, you are presumed innocent of the charge. Move on. Sir, with all due respect, I can't move on. I don't understand. I need a responsive yes or no. Just yes or no. That's all he could take. That was it. Security was called in, and I was thrown out of court.
When something like that happens, for somebody sitting back in the bleachers and looking at that and they don't understand a thing, they know something went wrong.
Yeah.
What went wrong?
Well, went wrong. Well, actually, nothing really.
For him.
For what went wrong for the prosecutor and the so-called judge. What happened for them was they boxed themselves in and actually made my case for me, or rather, they showed that they didn't have a case, because what they did was they admitted I was entitled to a fair hearing and a meaningful one. They said that they would answer my questions responsively, which they haven't done. They acknowledged that I'm not a lawyer and I don't understand. And they've acknowledged that I'm entitled to be informed.
And as long as you don't understand the charges, it's required by law for them to explain them to you.
Right, and they refuse to do that.
Yeah.
Now, I do explain to people in a peanut gallery, if they ask me, what just happened? Why did the judge get so upset with you? Why did he call security to have you taken out of the courtroom? You didn't raise your voice. You weren't disrespectful in any manner. What happened? And the reason is, to get a little bit more technical, is that jurisdiction is an essential element of any alleged crime. And if he has to presume me innocent of every element of that alleged crime, he has to presume there's no jurisdiction. He can't hold me for pretrial.
You know, that went fast. Say that again.
Okay.
If he has to assume that you're innocent of all aspects of the charge, he also...
Jurisdiction is an absolutely essential element of any crime or any court case. That's basically the judge's ability to hear the case at all, to hold you, if you will, against your will, in his room, his courtroom. So if he has already admitted that he has a presumption of innocence, that has to apply to every single element of the crime, or you're not presumed innocent. Well, as a matter of black letter law, if their jurisdiction is an absolutely essential element. If I wasn't in Arizona on the day the police officer says I was, or I wasn't within the state, to be more accurate, then there's no case. And I usually get them to admit that if I'm not within the state on that day, there is no case. There's no jurisdiction, there's no crime. So I make sure to get that admission first. So here, the judge, Robin Allen, was the only one in the room, besides myself, who understood what was going on. He understood, if I admit that he's presumed innocent of every single element of this alleged crime, I know this guy. He's going to come back and then say, are you presuming there's no jurisdiction? Now he's boxed into a corner, because if he has to presume there's no jurisdiction, he can't hold me to answer for this ridiculous complaint against me. So this is why, to keep anyone in the peanut gallery from picking up the ball and thinking, hey.
Or everybody that's sitting behind you waiting to get in your chair.
Right. So to keep all those people from getting any ideas, I'm going to cut this guy off before anybody figures out what he's doing. Because apparently the lawyers are just out in left field. They're not getting it.
They couldn't catch it.
But maybe someone in the background is going to get this. And even if they don't get it, I don't want them coming up here and doing the same thing. So, oh, I know what I'll do. I'm going to start screaming, and I'm going to call security and have this man removed. And I'm going to just completely ignore everything I said about fairness and a fair trial and due process and justice. And I mean, you can see if you just take a progression and get certain admissions from him. It's not that the law requires me to be informed. I didn't ask him, well, does the law require me to be informed? No, no. I asked him, am I entitled to be informed? And he gave me his opinion. So what I've noticed is that the law means nothing. If it gets in the way of a conviction, we're gonna ignore that. If you don't like it, appeal it. And that's the typical sneer that you get.
Absolutely.
Never mind that appeal is never forthcoming. They forget that part.
Okay.
So trying to get them to contradict the law